phone, and I met him over at Don Arden's house at the party. We spoke about things. And so I said, do you want to come over and have a play with us and see how we get on?
You know, my first opportunity to meet Tony in the flesh, and Geezer and Bill. And we got along really well, went out into the rehearsal room, and Tony showed me something, and we wrote a song called Children of the Sea that night.
In the misty morning.
We liked his voice, and we liked the way things were happening. We were managing to be able to start writing material again. And it was happening quick, so that was the bottom line. We wanted to make an album. We had to carry on.
The band felt that Ronnie had brought a new lease of life to Sabbath.
I loved the stuff that Sabbath were doing then. It really inspired me again, and I really got into it, and I realised it was the right move. You know, one of us had to go, and unfortunately it had to be Ozzy.
Ozzy especially has real staunch fans, and for someone else to come into Sabbath, I mean, God, that was sacrilegious to these people. So, in the early days, there was a little bit of, finger throwing at concerts and, signs being chucked up that, were less than flattering to me, but that didn't matter to me. I don't care. You say what you want to say. I'm on the stage, you're not.
Bill Ward was tiring of life in the band. His state of mind wasn't helped by his growing alcoholism.
I don't know if Bill got on with Ronnie that well. And Bill, again, of course, was going through a lot of stages with his drink and everything. And I don't think we all quite appreciated how bad he was.
It was intolerable for me to get beyond a stage without Osborne. And I drank very, very heavily. My alcoholism accelerated at an unbelievable rate. I had no idea how to come to terms with the loss of Ozzy not being in Black Sabbath.
Bill was getting in a terrible state. I mean, he was just like deeper and deeper and deeper, and like this one particular night we were on tour. And we were doing all the biggest arenas in America, and we got to Denver. Bill came in and started talking to me about stuff that I can't, it's like a totally, he might as well have been a Martian or something. It was like on a total different planet to where I was on. And I said, yeah, all right, yeah, okay, Bill, yeah, all right, yeah. Bill, I just don't know what the hell you're talking about, I don't do drugs or drink anymore or anything like that. And he went absolutely mental. And he says, what, you don't think I'm good enough for you now or something? He just said, that's it, I'm leaving the band. I went, hey, what are you talking about? And he just went downstairs, got on his bus, and he went. And that was he left the band.
I couldn't play drums anymore. And we gave an official reason to the press. Bill's trying to get over the tragic loss of his mother. And that's true. My mother had died a little time before that. And that was true. But what was really going on is that I couldn't function, period. My health was worsening with the alcoholism. And I couldn't believe in that Sabbath.
Bill's sudden departure in the middle of a tour was a terrible blow for the band.
I'd played with Bill for, seemed all my life. I'd never had another drummer, Bill was always the drummer. And I couldn't imagine life without Bill. And I did panic.
The band called on American drummer Vinny Appice, whose knowledge of Sabbath's music was limited.
I wasn't that huge of a Sabbath fan. I actually didn't even own a record. I remember listening to it over friends' houses and hearing it on the radio, so I didn't know a lot of the songs.
We rehearsed a couple of days with him, and then we had this big show in Hawaii to do, and it was an open-air show. We rehearsed a couple of days with him, and then we had this big show in Hawaii to do, and it was an open-air show, and we were headlining.
At first, I didn't understand the way Geezer and Tony talked, because they were from Birmingham, and I, at that time, wasn't around a lot of English people. So I didn't get the accent, It was like, what? And a lot of time I'd ask Ronnie, what did he say?
Vinny had this little kit on top of Bill's big riser. He had this small bass drum in comparison to Bill's kit, because Bill had a huge kit. And I thought, dear, how are you going to hear that with us? Because we were loud on this big open air venue. So I had all these things going through my head and pacing up and down the dressing room. Oh God, it's not going to happen. It's not going to work.
I just went to Tony and said, look, Tony, don't be nervous about this. If something goes wrong, they're not going to blame you. They're going to blame me. You know, I'm just always going to be my fault. I'm the guy who replaced Ozzy, remember? And you're Tony Iommi. They're not going to blame you. They're going to blame me. So don't worry about it. He went, oh, yeah, I guess so.
And we went on stage, and it was really good. And Vinny played really well and pulled it off. And you could hear him.
When I first joined, I didn't know what to think. It was like this evil band and the evil music, and what if this evil's following us around, you know, and we'd be up in the plane. I'm thinking, oh God. Well, I thought, well, if we crash, I'll maybe become a semi-legend or something.
Ozzy, meanwhile, had done little since leaving Sabbath. It was his wife and manager Sharon